Well, I'd now like to talk a bit about what's been going on in the world and this past week. But before, I'd like to just step back and talk a bit about, when we talk about the world affairs and what's been going on. I want us to remember what took place here in Afghanistan and the debacle that we saw there. And as I mentioned here on PJNet.tv, during that time frame, that when you show weakness and you leave Americans and you put our soldiers in jeopardy, you're going to embolden the bad actors like Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, the dictator there in North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and other bad actors. They will feel emboldened. And I believe we're actually seeing that right now, again, with what's taking place here and the build-up that Vlad has been amassing. 100,000 soldiers are surrounding Ukraine, and now we see Biden doing a scramble to try and give the warning out. But again, when you start talking about what do we have for leverage, well, if we had the XL pipeline right now and we were able to offer Europe, Germany, our energy rather than Vladimir, that would have been a major deterrent. That if he wants to be crushed, we'll crush him economically. And we had a strategic coin there, a strategic way that we could put pressure on Russia in the energy area, that we could have been the suppliers. But what happened now? We have Russia supplying Europe energy. And what a stranglehold does Russia have in that area right now over Europe, because he will be supplying the energy. So we see here weakness being shown around the world is getting, we're seeing some of the results playing out right now. Now we're seeing Ukraine, but I mean, China has been, they're pushing buttons. We start to see them threatening Taiwan. We see Kim Jong-un throwing up rockets again. So we, when weakness is shown, this is a result. And this happened, this took place in the first days of Biden taking office, eliminating our energy independence and basically giving Russia, go right ahead and supply Europe with energy. Now I want to say that we saw here a blow that was made against Islamic terrorism this week, and I'm glad that the troop, there was no injuries or fatalities in that effort. So I want to I'm pleased with what took place there, and the administration making a move in that area to take a bad actor out, that terrorist there. The attack took place in Syria, and took the replacement of al-Baghdadi. His replacement is now in the ground. So I give the administration. I'm glad that they made that move, and it allows us to be a bit more safe in that region. Now, again, everything that has been done leading up to that has been, spurring on these bad actors that we have a weak president, and obviously. what took place in Afghanistan was the biggest debacle, biggest mistake that could have been made. But this move here and taking out that terrorist will give a check mark, a thumbs up in that area. So we have when it comes to that news there, I'm glad that the outcome was positive and not one from the reports are saying that there was no fatalities or injuries when it came to our soldiers that brought forth that mission. I want to talk about free speech and what we have been seeing. And I want to kind of take a step back and talk here on pjnet.tv, my perspective and comments. We've been talking about this for years now, and I want to point out that I had mentioned this regarding our colleges and what would be taking place, like if a Ben Shapiro or Charlie Kirk would, or in some of our Republican conservative senators would go to speak on a college campus. There'd be protests and an effort to keep them off the campus, and that was growing. You saw that more and more happening, and that same mindset, that same censorship, we don't want to hear what you have to say, has been building. But we saw this 3-4 years ago of this type of antagonist for another point of view, another perspective, and people wanting to come to the to campus and share what they believe and share with those on campus. And you saw the outcry. We don't want that individual here. And then you also saw the safe spaces that everyone had to, we want a safe space. You can't say this in this arena, in this area. And that was building up in our colleges. And now fast forward to today, and now we've been seeing big tech, censoring and silencing, same thing, same situation, silencing people and deplatforming them, and so on and so forth. Well, now we have an individual, Joe Rogan, that was slapped by Spotify, and because there were people coming up and saying shut him down. He's talking to people that we don't want to hear from. We don't agree with. And it came to a head when Dr. McCullough and Dr. Malone, the mRNA inventor, was speaking and sharing what they have been seeing when it comes to COVID over these last 2+ years, and that couldn't stand. And then you had Neil Young and Joni Mitchell saying, "Well, we're pulling our music off Spotify." And Spotify kind of, at first was sticking with Joe, and now they're doing a little tap dance here, and we're going to put a disclaimer and some warning, and and you wonder, is this the first step? Will Joe Rogan be on Spotify in the next 2 or 3 months? We don't know. But you have that, and it's so ironic, Neil Young here, back in the day when he was all about free speech and the freedom of expressing yourself, and now he wants to silence and censor Joe Rogan. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, here is another example of someone that is, I believe his contract for 5 years or something is like $100 million. So Spotify, a lot of dineros come in that from Spotify to Joe Rogan, and one of the most popular shows in the nation right now. And so we'll see how that plays out. But again, the censorship that we've been seeing from the Facebooks, YouTube, here Spotify, and many of these big tech companies have been involved in censoring and trying to eliminate free speech. And the other ironic thing about it is that Joe Rogan were bringing different viewpoints. Bernie Sanders was on there, and if I'm not mistaken, Joe Rogan was actually had endorsed Sanders. So it wasn't like he was having all conservatives or the conservative view. He would talk about it, a lot of things. Now, a lot. I don't watch Joe Rogan. I've heard some things about his pot use and some of that left-leaning, a lot of left-leaning things. But I think the emphasis that and the plus for Joe Rogan is when he's bringing different viewpoints and just having a conversation and talking about it. Like how can you understand someone else's perspective unless you let them talk and you share and you bounce ideas back and forth? And yes, you can even bring that to an argument, or two different viewpoints clashing, but having that free speech where you can have those different perspectives and judge on those varying perspectives. But no, the left, no, we don't want to hear that. We only want to hear one set of facts, our facts, and it's got to match with what the learned, those that have all the right information. And if you don't get on board with the left, then you're spouting and spewing misinformation, and that is a lie. And we're starting to see, a lot of these news organizations, CNN, MSNBC, wrong. 2 years ago, cloth masks were, if you said that they don't work, you were taken off YouTube or Facebook. Now you have Walensky, you have Fauci admitting that they aren't effective, and now you need to use N95s. But again, we had the Patriot doctors, shouting that the cloth masks really did nothing, and for them saying that, they were pulled off a lot of these big tech platforms. So again, we see here censorship and pulling people off these varying sites, and we're seeing more and more of that happening. People are pushing back now. People are saying, starting to come around and say, wait a minute, varying viewpoints, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'd like us to take a look here with Tucker Carlson had Tulsi Gabbard. She ran Democrat. She ran in the for this past in the primary for president, running for president, and she and Tucker discussed this, what's been taking place with Joe Rogan, and what her viewpoint is when it comes to free speech. Here, take a look.